I don't know if you still have a dream or if you ever had a dream. Maybe you were a kid and you wanted to be a fireman or you wanted to be a nurse, whatever it was. But I had a dream to be in the movies. Have you had that dream? In my mid-20s, I actually made that dream come true. In this video, I'm going to show you how I got into the movies in Montreal, Canada, got to act beside none other than Patrick Dempsey himself, and get a role in the movie. Whoa, this is going to blow your mind. So when I was in my mid-20s, I heard about this movie that was going to be filmed in Montreal, Quebec with Patrick Dempsey called Meatballs 3. And I had this feeling, this dream, this desire I wanted to be in the movies. So in this video, I want to share with you something called S.A.S.S.Y, S-A.S.S.Y. And it's a three-step process that's going to allow you to have success in anything that you do in your life. And the first S stands for show up. And that's the first thing that I had to do. So when I heard about this movie, what I did was I went down to the set and I went to this fence and I found a little hole and I snuck through the fence and I went in and I started asking people if they knew who was in charge. And they told me this guy, Tim. I went over to him, I spoke to him and I said, Tim, I want a job on the set. And he goes, kid, this is a private set, get out of here.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
Right? Get out of here. How'd you get in here? And I'm like, well, I snuck through the fence. He goes, get out of here.
Get out of here, man.
So the first thing is showing up, right? And so the next day, what did I do? I showed up again, snuck through the fence and went up and asked him for a job. And he goes, kid, I told you, it's a private set, get out of here. And he chased me off. And this went on day after day after day. You see, most people quit. Most people don't show up. And I figured somebody was not going to show up and somebody was going to quit. And if I just kept on showing up, I could take their position. I just had to show up every day. And if you show up every day in your life, and if you continue to show up, somebody's going to quit, and you're going to get the position you want. Well, on the seventh day, I show up, and sure enough, Tim's there waving like this. I'm looking, and he goes, you're late. John didn't show up. Grab this car, go get a boat, and come back, and I'll give you your next job. You see, in life, when you show up over and over and over again, then dreams come true. All right, step 2 of the S.A.S.S.Y process. S stands for show up and A stands for ask. And what did I do? I asked him 6 days in a row before the 7th day. He asked me. So you see, this principle of asking is so crucial that you develop this tenacity and persistence. And on some of my other videos, I talk about the importance of how to develop persistence. But in this scenario here, I want to point out to you that Jack Canfield wrote a great book called Principles, where he talks about the need for you to push through. You see, something happens when you go to sell something. The first time, people don't necessarily believe it, or they're not convinced that you're committed to your product. But if every day somebody keeps on asking you something, then you tend to believe that they believe it. Have you ever seen that child wear a parent down? Where they ask over and over, Mommy, Mommy, when are we going to Disney World? Mommy, Mommy, when are we going? Mommy, Mommy, can I have an ice cream? Mommy, Mommy, can I have an ice cream?
Mom, 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 Mommy, 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 Mama.
And eventually the parent gives in. Well, life's not that different. If you keep on asking, if you keep on showing up, you've got half the battle. Most people aren't willing to do that, because they're not committed to what they want, they're not sure, they don't like rejection, they want the easy path. There's a plethora of reasons. But here's what I want you to remember. Show up, and then show up, and then show up, and go for what you want. And then ask, and ask, and ask, and be resilient. Don't take anything personally. Just go for it like I did, and great things will happen. All right, so now we're going to complete the acronym. The last part is S.A.S.S.Y. Solve by saying yes. Solve by saying yes. So there was this scene when I was a gopher and I was moving some stuff around, and they were filming the movie Meatballs, and Patrick Dempsey, who was going to lose his virginity to this Playboy bunny or whatever it was a fantasy camp movie. He was going to lose it in a boat. And they had the whole scene set up at about 10 o'clock in the evening. It was dark, there's some lights on, and the boat was supposed to be rocking while he was making love in the boat to this, beautiful goddess. And the director screams, action, and the boat doesn't move. And he's like, guys, move the boat, and action, and the boat doesn't move. And he's like, guys, what's going on? This is costing us money. We're on the set. We're ready to roll. Lights, camera, action. And the boat doesn't move. And that's when I solved the problem by saying yes. I literally ran past everybody, jumped into the dark, murky water, and started rocking the boat like this. How's that? And he goes, that's great. Hide your head behind the boat. And action. And literally rocked the boat and solved the problem by saying yes. You see, so many other people didn't want to jump in the cold water. They maybe didn't know what was in there, or they don't like cold water. I don't like cold water. But in life, when you're willing to do what other people aren't willing to do, you're going to get great rewards. But the story doesn't stop there. Hey, if you're a learner, you're going to want to get hold of this book here, Your Epic Life Blueprint. In this book are the 10 habits that helped me become a 7-figure earner. And I want to get you this book for free. All you got to do is cover the shipping, and we'll send it out to you right away. So a couple of days later, they had this scene where they had to go through some mud and stuff like that, and people didn't want to go through the mud. So the director shouted out, he goes, where's that kid who rocked the boat? He'll do anything. So they called me over, and I traipsed through the mud, and I dragged stuff back and forth. And now I became known as the kid that will do just about anything to get things done. And that wasn't a bad reputation on the set. It ended up leading to me getting a job as first assistant director on the next movie they were filming. I even got a part acting. Now, it was as a dead person, so they really did maximize my talents. But nonetheless, I still got a part in the movie, right? But I will tell you this. At the end of that movie, they actually filmed one of the first scenes, because movies aren't filmed chronologically. And it was in a restaurant, and they had a scene where Patrick Dempsey was just finishing school, and he was going to be hit on by this hot girl that the cool people sent over and humiliate him. And then there was a scene with a whole bunch of people that were supposed to be happy and, not nerdy like him, that were making out and partying after school was let out. So in order to set that stage, there was a bunch of extras, and I had already applied for my extra card after being on the set for a few weeks. And sure enough, there comes the director, and he says, okay, I need a really good-looking girl and a kid making out right here. Patrick Dempsey's going to be in the background looking like a nerd, and we want that scene set that way. And he looks around the room, and he picks this really gorgeous girl. And then he looks around the room, and he goes, hey, rock the boat. Come over here. And he hooks me up with this girl. Oh my God. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. Here I am a few weeks later after sneaking through the fence and thinking about the dream that I wanted. There I was making it happen. I was in the scene of a few different shots. I met the actors and actresses. I got another job on another set, and now I was making out with this super hot girl. It was so cool, and Patrick Dempsey was the nerd. Wow. Now, he went on to be really cool, and I'm doing what I'm doing, but the fact of the matter is if you follow the S.A.S.S.Y formula, show up, ask, and then solve by saying yes to things that other people aren't willing to do, I bet you some of your dreams are going to come true. So I want to encourage you to think about some of the things that are holding you back or that you're struggling with most. Perhaps it's with your finances, maybe it's with your energy or vitality, or maybe it's in your communication or relationships. At work, you want a job or a promotion, whatever it is. Put it in solvable terms. In other words, think of, I want to make more money as an example. And then I want you to put what or how in front of it. And then answer the question. So I'll give you an example. How can I make more money? Now answer that question. Well, one of them might be show up earlier, stay later, say yes to all the things that would solve problems for other people, get a promotion, etc. Or maybe get a second job or a side hustle. So when you start to ask the right questions, you start to get better quality answers that are going to move you closer toward what you want. Sadly, we live in a consumer society, and most people spend just about everything they earn, and they don't have anything left to invest, and therefore they are the only person on their team trying to score financial points. Let's add a couple of people to your team if that's what you want. And by the way, if you like this video, hit the buzzer, hit the like, share it with somebody. Let's start educating people on how they can live life on their terms, how they can be even better. If I went from farm boy to financially free, then I'm convinced with the right tools and the right strategies, you can do it too.